And here we come with another thrilling episode of 3D Printing the Miniature Universe with Papa Jester. Alright, let's get into another episode. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, programs, fellow creators of lovely 3D art. Today, I'm going to discuss how I went from this to this. Stay tuned, find out how I did it, and pick up some good tips. But first, let's take a look at my sponsor, the Gulf Coast Renaissance Fair, March 6th and 7th. Can't wait. I've been busy making stuff just for this event. I know. Let's check out the commercial.
Gulf Coast Renaissance Wild West Pirate and History Fest, March 6 and 7. See jousting knights, pirates, cowboy gunslingers, Civil War and World War II soldiers, and much more. $10 adults, $5 child. Info, gcrf.us. Get historical!
Alright, to get things started, I know we really haven't done much printing videos as of late. I have been really busy trying to prep for our local Renaissance Fair, which this year is embracing a new theme. It's called Historical Future Historical. Not only will we have knights jousting and maidens a-dancing, we will have troopers a-blasting, invading Klingons, maybe, Starfleet spreading their diplomacy, the Civil War coming back to life, and our GIs over in Europe fighting the swastika-using enemies. Yeah, my boss went all over the board on this one. The power of modern medicine. Excuse me. Without it, oh, my joints would not work, and my knees would hurt even more. Alright, so I want to show you what I've been so feverishly working on for the Renfair. Now, bear in mind, this was just a test, so I could see how the pattern would work. And I learned some important factors here. The separate pieces here, see, a lot of them come oriented down. I believe it's the common belief that if you want, like, smooth surfaces, you want to print them bedside down. I have found multiple times that causes even more problems. I still haven't totally figured this one out. I have incredible problems with my first layer. Now, I have solved quite a bit of that by upping my bed temperature from the standard 60 to 70. At that point, I actually have to wait a few minutes before I even try to pry the part up off the bed, because at that bed temperature, the parts are still spongy. I tried it at 85, and although that absolutely killed all my first double adhesion problems, it also meant that, well, the part was so gooey that it was having trouble trying to print on top of the first layer. So, It's about 65, 68 to about 70. I found was the optimal temperature to give me enough bed cohesion and fusion between my initial layers to keep from having all those terrible first layer issues. So then we go on. Yeah, that's another thing. My speech therapist would hate me. I keep using "so" a lot. If you've ever taken any speech classes or auditory classes to get to prep yourself for public speaking, they say there are like about 4 key things you want to practice taking out of your vocabulary. When we're trying to search for something to say to fill in a gap, is another one. Pausing for more than just dramatic effect is another one. And I forget what the 4th one is. Well, I always used to think it was babbling, but depends on what you're doing. Sometimes babbling is useful, like YouTube. Alright. Next was the interior layers. What's supposed to form the red part. Back behind here, there are lines that form up the interior circuitry of the Holocron. Let's see if I can light it up for you. Now, these are made so that you can put a tea light in there and it'll light up the thing. But since Amazon is still taking a fair amount of time to deliver the necessary bulk order that I made, I haven't got my tea lights yet. I love Amazon. I also despise Amazon. Anyways, this is what it's kind of supposed to look like. It's supposed to have the nice glow, and you can just make out the thin lines of the circuitry there, but anyways, it's supposed to light up like that. Well, once again, it would say, print this part smooth side down. Well, that caused another problem. By printing smooth side down, I was running into the first layer problems, which is rather evident here. As you can see, the different layer problems, uneven surface. I think it might be time to replace my bed. It might be heating unevenly. So, my solution was to flip it around. A lot of times, you'll run into patterns that come from the creator to be printed in a certain way. And the first thing you need to realize is the maker of the STL file is orienting it in a way that is best for his machine. You have to play around with the print sometimes, print it up, see how it works, to figure out what is best for your machine. Although 3D printers are all built the same, they do not function all the same. A lot of them have general, I'd say, operating parameters that they adhere to, but each of them does have all their unique qualities. No material that we produce in modern manufacturing is without some flaw. Although these flaws can be mitigated to a very, very, very fine point, materials all react differently. For my time as a welder, I can tell you that high-grade steel is different. it has unique qualities that vary from piece to piece. Now, these imperfections and flaws are very, very limited. Otherwise, they would not meet the production standards needed for building construction or ship construction or anything like that. But they all have a unique difference. Steel from one company is definitely just a minute bit different from steel from another company. And you have to work with it before you get the total hang of it. So, everything in manufacturing has just a slightly different quirk when you're working with materials or using other materials to work on other materials. And your bed may have minute flaws or quirks from the makeup of the material, and it results in different results. So though not every machine is completely alike, the most common thing that I've found is that on the majority of machines, the best printing angle is along your Z-axis. So parts that are oriented from top to bottom usually have a better print quality, a better outer layer, better top layer, better details. This also does mean that most parts will take longer, since printing along the Z-axis at your 30mm and your 50mm almost doubled the time of your production. Which, I'm still going to have to figure out why it exactly works like that. Or research! So, to basically conclude on what I was trying to get to throughout my meandering amberings, yeah, that's a word I made up, I'm using it. So I had to reorient the part so that it printed topside up. And look at the results. That is a beautiful finish. Now, the support material that was left behind, I have purposely left on the circuitry side, some of it, so that when the light shines through it, it looks like it has more circuitry. But that's what I wanted to point out today. Play with how you print these parts before you commit to the full print. Throw on some junk material, print it up, and see how it reacts on your machine. Remember to play with your parts. Figure out what works best on your machine. That's it. And as always, remember to print whatever you want. Have fun printing. And just have a blast doing a wonderful hobby. Alright, friends. Peoples. Check me out on my Etsy shop. 3D shop. Look me up on Facebook. 3D Printing the Miniature.
Gulf Coast Renaissance Wild West Pirate and History Fest, March 6 and 7. See jousting knights, pirates, cowboy gunslingers, Civil War and World War II soldiers, and much more. $10 adults, $5 child. Info, gcrf.us. Get historical!
Alright, thanks for watching. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment on things you like to talk about. Tell me what you thought about the episode. Give me your input. I'd love to hear it. Also, don't forget to check me out on Facebook at 3D Printing the Miniature Universe with Papa Jester. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes of 3D Printing the Miniature Universe with Papa Jester. Hey, y'all. You have a good night.